Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Pastor Jay, and welcome to another edition of Kingdom Conversations. I pray that you had a tremendous weekend. And listen, I am like so on cloud nine. I graduated Saturday with my bachelor's. To God be the glory. I'm so excited, man. I am so thankful. I got to give a big shout out to Dominion Theological Seminary, who has shown me so much love in the past 4 years. Last year, well, my first graduation, I was the salutatorian, and this year I was the valedictorian. So they have just shown me so much love, and this is not an honorary bachelor's degree. This is earned. So I bust my behind, y'all. I locked in this office for the past 2 years, and but actually the last 4 years, and just went after my dream of getting my degrees in seminary. And I'm not done yet. I'm going right back in September to get my master's. I'm going after my master's. So to God be the glory. So I hope that everybody has had a great weekend. And yesterday was Sunday, first Sunday. Most of us took communion. So I pray that you're still living holy, that you're still living right. Glory to God. And that you are an individual that understands the day and time that we're living in, that is so important, that we spend time with people that love us, people that push us to be better, bigger and better, and most of all, that we're spending time with God. So listen, today I have one of my favorite male singers on the planet. This is my brother, and yes, we've been trying to get him here for a minute, y'all, but you know, he's just that dude. He's just that dude. I'm not going to tell you who he is right now. We're going to go to the quick commercial break. We're going to come back, and then I'm going to introduce my guest, and me and him are going to have a great conversation. I want you, don't move. Stay right where you're at. I'll be right back, y'all. Everybody, what's up? This is your boy, Jason Hendrickson, and I'm here to let you know that my brand new single, Another Chance, is out, y'all. It's here. But this is a Bandcamp exclusive. You got to log on to jasonlhendrickson.bandcamp.com. Grab it, download it. I promise you it's going to bless you. Another Chance. Let's go. Another chance. Yes. My brand new single, Another Chance, is out. And I got to take time and say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. The last single that we just put out, My Longing, because of you guys, because of your support, we hit the #1 spot on the MRC, the BDS charts, because of you guys. It's amazing what happens when people genuinely support you. So thank you. We hit the #1 spot, and we going for it one more again. We going for it again. And so please check out our new single, Another Chance. Is out right now. And you can only get it on Bandcamp. You can't get it on Apple Music, Spotify, nowhere else. Only Bandcamp. And you have to go to jasonlhendrickson.bandcamp.com and check it out and download it. It's going to bless you. I promise you. But it ain't about me today. It's about my man that I'm about to bring to the stage. He is just a walking, talking miracle. I'm sure we're going to get into some of his testimony. But like I forestated, I had the chance to really meet him and connect when he came to minister for my pastor, Bishop Hill. And I already knew who he was. And, you know, sometimes when you meet people that are famous in church and famous in gospel, and that are well known, it turns out to be some of the worst experiences that you ever have meeting some of these people. But when I met this brother, everything I heard about him, because my friends work with him, Anisha, and so many people I know have spoken so highly of him. And when I got to meet him, we just clicked. He down to earth and just so gifted, man. I'm talking about none other than my boy, my brother, JoJo Martin. What up, JoJo?
What's happening, bro? What's the word?
What's good, man? I'm so happy to have you here with me, man.
Man, I'm happy to be here. And congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
Come on, degrees on top of degrees. I noticed how you slid that earned in there because it seems like a lot of honoraries are going around.
Yeah, it's the spirit of honorary going on.
God, going around like COVID, ain't it?
Yeah, ain't it? Everybody getting them. But, I don't knock it because I have a honorary doctorate degree in sacred music. And the crazy thing is, it's really not celebrated in our circle, but in our counterparts, they take that stuff serious. And that's because honorary doctorate is given because of experience in life in a certain field. So it's cool, but I like to earn stuff as well.
Yeah, man. No, listen, I've celebrated all of it to those who earned, and it was honorary. Congratulations to all of y'all. I don't have name one of them, but I pray. I pray.
We got to change that. Dominion, y'all hear this? My brother JoJo don't got no honorary doc. We need to give him something. We got to come up with something,
listen,
my man.
I'm going back to school. I'm gonna get my architect degree, and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna branch out and do some other stuff. So please pray my strength.
Yes, sir. But listen, I want you to introduce yourself to our audience here at Kingdom Conversations, Joe. What I like to do, I bring in a plethora of guests that are making impact in the kingdom as well as the marketplace. So you'll probably find a principal on one week, gospel artists such as yourself on. So introduce and tell everybody who JoJo Martin is from your mouth to our ears.
Sure. My name is JoJo Martin. My family, some of them call me Josiah. That is my government name. But I'm just a Kojic Church kid from Monterey, California. My father pastors till this day. My mother passed away, but she was pastoring before then.
My
grandparents have come from a line of preachers and singers, and so I'm just a church kid that decided that I wanted to pursue my dreams and run after that with everything I had. And I'm the fifth boy of 5 boys and 1 girl. I live in Atlanta. I've been working in this music industry for a long time. I think I recorded my first song in elementary school, somewhere around there with my church choir, and then went on to do some stuff with Joe Pace and also James Moore when he was living, and just so many great opportunities between now and then. And so that's just me. I'm super, super simple. I'm a dad. I got 2 boys, 1 girl. Never been married, but we give God the glory.
Come on.
There's still has time.
Come on. It's still early in the game.
That's right. And so I'm just an average person that's living by the grace of God, and grateful to be alive. Been through some challenges, but God has won every single fight in my life. So I'm grateful, man. I'm still here.
Wow. Listen, man, I remember the first time I found out who you were. It was in the midst of you battling and fighting for your life.
Yeah.
You were fighting for your life, and you were at a concert with Uncle Kirk. We all call him Uncle Kirk Franklin. And he got off the stage, and you went, I think you sat on the stage and was singing. And I was like, yo, who is this dude? Like the anointing that just permeated through the screen. It just gave me goosebumps. I was like, I don't know who this dude is, but he got some oil on him. And then when I found out your story, I found out that oil cost you something.
Oh, yeah.
And I want you to just share a little bit of your testimony. So when people tap into your music that may not have ever heard it, they understand what they're feeling, because that oil that you have, Joe, it didn't come lightly. You paid a heavy price for it, bro. So just speak to us about your testimony, man.
My testimony is it was a journey. I have a genetic kidney disease called FSGS. It's this long name, but look it up. It's genetic. And my oldest brother, he had it. And the night before I could fly home to California, the doctors, because it was genetic, they felt like there was enough siblings in between us for it to possibly have, for me to be the best match for the person that wouldn't have it.
Mm.
The night before I could fly home to California, he died. He had a seizure. Never had a seizure in his life. Just randomly had a seizure and died. And so, we were so wrapped up in that, I never got any of the testing done.
Mm.
And so years later, we find out I'm getting sick. Just things just aren't seeming right in the hospital for a month. Before they find out that that's what it was through kidney biopsy and on different things. And so for years it fluctuated. It went up and down. They thought we would do medicine, and then they said, well, no, it's back to normal. So we watched it for years, and I was on tour with Josh Groban and Judith Hill. And we were on like the last 2 or 3 cities. We were in Florida, and I was just feeling bad. So I went to urgent care, and they said, oh, well, your blood pressure is 220 over like 200, something stroke-ish. And so they rushed me to the hospital, and that's when they said, your kidneys are failing. You need to go on dialysis.
Wow.
And I was scared, of course, worried. And I was like, no, I don't have any family here. I don't know you people. You're not my doctors. Right. I haven't gotten the chance to, especially in our community, they'll throw you on medicine or anything without you having the time to educate yourself.
Absolutely.
They don't do well at educating us in our community.
Absolutely.
So I was like, no, you're kind of in a rush. You're not allowing me to figure out why you want to do this. I haven't seen enough. And so I wouldn't go on dialysis. And so he kept me for like 10 days because I wouldn't go on dialysis. He wouldn't release me to go home to see my own doctor. So finally he comes and he says, well, if you get a doctor, and I talked to the doctor, I'll release you and let you go home. Did all of that, just randomly went through, found me a nephrologist who's, now I ain't gonna lie, name sounded black. I was like, I'm praying. And I knew Emory was an amazing hospital. And so that's what I wanted. And sure enough, Dr. Frida Fisher, Christian woman, amazing lady.
Wow.
I got back, I saw her as soon as I got home. And she said, well, no, if you do these things I tell you, I could keep you off of dialysis for 6 more months. And she did just that.
Wow.
That's literally 6 months. And I went on dialysis for the first 2 years. I did dialysis for 7 days a week, 9 hours a night.
Wow.
And so during the Kirk show, I had went to see him. The first night was Miami. Second night was Atlanta. I came to see him, me and my best friend, Jasmine Crumley. We went, but I was so sick. So I told her, I said, well, I'm going to sit through a few minutes of this, and then I want you to take me to the hospital. The venue and the hospital were like right around the corner.
Okay.
So I went back there, said hello to everybody, stayed for about 15, 20 minutes, and then went to the hospital. And I was in the hospital for weeks after that. I was just so sick all the time. So we got the dialysis and stuff rolling. And so I said, I want to see it again. During this time, actually, I was opening for the McDonald's gospel tour.
Oh, wow.
I had so many different things going on. So I went to Jacksonville because I wanted to see the show
right
in full. I went to Jacksonville, and it got to intercession, and Kirk called me up, and I was like, I don't know the song, I don't know what to do. And he's, you could hear him say, I'm gonna give you the words. He gave me the words, and that was my first time having really like a public conversation. Wow. And it wasn't about the people. I didn't need a conversation with people because there was nothing they could do. Right. I needed a conversation with God. So while I was telling family and friends little by little here and there, because people don't pray right all the time.
Right.
I hadn't really sat down and just been like, God, I don't know what's going on. My family is scared. My brother had this. He's dead. I don't know what my outcome is. And so I was just like, no better time than now.
Wow.
And I just had this conversation with God through that song. And we had to rush home because I would have to do dialysis at 5 a.m. So I got to the center and I was tired. I fell asleep. And when I woke up, one of the nurses was waking me up. She said, is this you on the internet? I don't think so, And I woke up in the clip, my cousin Dee, she had videoed and she had put it on YouTube, and it was already at like 1 million views by the time that I woke up. So it was like making its way around everywhere. And within the next couple of days, it was 4 or 5 million views and craziness, and people were reposting actors, actresses, movie people. I mean, all type of music
Yeah,
people.
it went crazy.
Yeah, it went crazy, and actually, that's how I ended up getting my transplant. My donor, she saw the video, and then I sang at Morehouse. She was singing in the choir at Spelman, and for the gospel concert. And she decided that night that she would be my donor. I didn't even know her. I
Wow.
just met her. Yeah, met her that night.
So that moment was ordained by God for all of this to happen.
For all of it, bro. I mean, to see the journey itself. I mean, most people. I sat in the clinic with people that were on dialysis for 25. All this stuff. Years. I was like the youngest person there, and 5 years to be on dialysis, believe it or not, is a short time.
Wow.
And so much happened during those 5 years. So much impact was made. I spoke to thousands of people, literally thousands of people who were in that struggle, trying to figure out how to survive something that, you go from never being sick to all of a sudden needing dialysis every 3 days. And so it's a mental thing. And God gave me what I asked him for. I was walking around singing, if you can use anything, you can use me, and praying, God, use me for your glory, use me for your will, not my will, but yours, and all this other type of stuff.
Yeah.
But what we don't realize is you don't get to decide how he uses you.
How? Wow. Yeah.
So some stuff has nothing to do with you. And because we're so religious in the mind, we've trained ourselves that this stuff is happening to us and not for us. So I had to change my mindset real fast, because I was struggling at the beginning, because I was like, I know I done did a few things.
Right.
Do I deserve this right here?
Right.
I was like, no, this ain't to you. This is for you. And what I thought would have been the worst season of my life actually was the best.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And that's the thing that I've always admired about you, because I lost one of my mentors to this disease. I don't know if you know Cassandra Elliott.
No, I know.
Yeah, she was a worship leader up here, and she moved down to Charlotte. Fantastic songwriter, wrote for Heads, a couple of other people, and she, was doing well, man. And out of nowhere, God made a decision. And the thing that I admire about her and you is through the whole ordeal, I never heard you say anything that would like appear to be a complaint or, like just mad at God or whatever. And I'm sure there's been days when you was like, man, why me? But your public presentation has always been one of optimism, has always been one of faith. And through your testimony, I was strengthened. Through her testimony, I was strengthened. So I just want to publicly say thank you, Ben, for teaching us how to have someone that we can touch whose life is Christocentric. Because we say all this stuff, but part of the life of Jesus was suffering and going through things that were uncomfortable, things that some would deem that he didn't deserve. So, but you doing what you do, how you done it, man, still recording, still singing, man, I take my hat. I got nothing but respect for you, Joe.
Man, God kept me. I tell people the miracle ain't just the kidney. It's the fact that I had strength to keep going.
Yeah.
The thing about Jesus was that he knew he didn't deserve it. He knew who he was. It wasn't that he was just that humble. He understood his assignment as the young people.
Understood the assignment, right?
However, he also was willing. So even if it didn't have to be him, he was willing to let it be him. And so if I could be like anybody in the moment of my suffrage, it had to be Jesus. And I was determined to make him smile. Did I have one or two people that I complained to? Sure. I needed that for my mental place, but other than that, it wasn't nobody that was going to see me moping and walking around, woe is me, because it was not going to be beneficial to my assignment, for people to see me struggle is human. However, where's the glory in it? Not for them, but for me. That was my part of it. How could there be glory after this if I complained and cried and whined all throughout the process?
Man, I tell people all the time, in order to have glory after this, you got to live through it.
Gotta live through it.
Got to live through it, man. And I think that's what produces the oil on our lives. God has a way of taking things that seem to be so painful and make it powerful for us, because people need to see something tangible. They need ocular proof that you can be young, you can still have swag, but you're gonna suffer, and you can go through it. And even in the scripture, yea, though I walk through the valley, that's something powerful, because I'm in it, but I'm walking through. I could be stuck in the valley, but I'm walking through it, the shadow of death, something that is not even real, but it's there. And it's there planted sometimes by the enemy to try to snatch your mind and distract you. But as long as you keep moving, and that's what you've done, man, you kept it moving. And I got to tell you, man, if God could give me a voice like anybody, dude, it's not fair, man. I just be like, man, this guy JoJo's voice is just, you are cold, dude, and you know it.
That's kind of you to say. Thank you.
Listen, I know you gotta be all humble and stuff, but let me brag on my brother, y'all. If y'all don't have none of JoJo's music, I'm telling you, hands down, he's in my top 5 male vocalists in gospel of all time. That's with the Marvin Winans, Fred Hammond, JoJo Martin. He's up in there. Isaac and all them guys, all my brothers. They all my brothers. But JoJo is definitely one of my favorite, man. And I'm just excited to see what's happening. You got some new music out now. Let's talk about the new single that's out.
Yeah, man. So shout out to my label, Morton Records. PJ Morton started this label, and I'm glad to be one of the first to be a part. And of course, we're doing a joint thing with Ty Scott. So wonderful people at Ty Scott. It's been great. But we have 3 singles out. Run On, Even If It Takes Forever, which I did with Kiara Sheard. Amazing. And now the latest single, which is Never Left Me Alone, written and produced by PJ. And it's been taken over, man. It's been crazy. And I know people are like, I hear people ask me, what are the numbers? I'm like, I don't know. I don't. That is not my job. I've never seen the charts or anything. I don't know what it looks like on the charts, but I know what it's doing in the hearts of the people.
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited. Every day is a different testimony, a different DM, a different text, different email about their experience with this song and their connection, not just with them, but with their children. And it's doing it again, because even with Intercession, it was so funny because I got so many messages of people that weren't sick. Nothing was wrong with them. They were just over God and over church.
Wow.
And so they were watching this video, and I'm reading these messages of how, I stopped praying and I stopped going to church, but I don't know why. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. And I'm like, we didn't know there was no pandemic. There was no nothing. You didn't know that you were going to need prayer. And so you needed to start a little early.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm the reason that people are praying. I think I'm a reason, along with so many other people.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget, I walked into New Life one New Year's Eve, and John Hanna, I got to meet him, and he said, man, I finally get to meet the guy who's got the whole world praying for him. And it just made me, I don't take nobody for granted, because the world is such a dirty and filthy place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to know that people were praying for my success. So anyways, during this time, when I first found out about the kidney stuff, PJ and I were working on a record. I was in LA for a month working with him on this record. And then, we got to a place where we felt like, okay, we're done. Let's get ready to do it. Then I had to go on dialysis. Wow. So this record has been a 10-year process. The only song that was written after my transplant is Never Left Me Alone. Every other song was written before I even went on dialysis. Wow. So it's so crazy that this journey, when you hear the record, was before I knew that I would need any of it.
Now, do you do most of your own writing, or you collaborate with people?
On this particular record, I did most of it. PJ, I'd say it's like a 50-50. I got to do some writing with him. Some songs I brought to the table. Some stuff we worked with Eric Dawkins, which is, my
I
hero.
I was just with them. I was with Eric and Anson. They did a show up at SOBs
Yeah.
a couple weeks
So
ago.
that same show came here the next week, and I opened up for that show here in Atlanta.
Them dudes is still smashing, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm like, golly.
Eric and Anson, like they voice, like they just got younger. It's like,
yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm listening to you, and y'all hear all these names. He's just dropping these names like it's nothing. But you actually work with PJ Morton, to me, who is probably like the Marvin Gaye of our generation.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's just a crooner. I love, and you know what makes me so marvel at PJ, how he's like Martin. He's like a musical Martin. Like, I say that because no matter how many times you see an episode of Martin, it's like you've never seen it before.
Right.
You're laughing.
Yeah.
PJ can recycle the same song 50 times. It don't matter.
Don't
I am never going to get tired of hearing PJ do anything that he sings, man.
No.
And you're working with him, you're working with Kirk. Like, man, what is that like? I had the privilege of going on tour with Kirk when I was playing drums for Heads. We did Six Flags, all the Six Flags in America.
Oh, yeah.
And that was crazy. Kirk is such a down-to-earth dude and so much fun to be around. But now you're working with him after having, and he said something to me. I asked him, I said, yo, Kirk, why do you take so long to put out music? He says, because I have to live. In order for me to have something to write about, I got to live through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I never forgot that, man. And now looking at what he's doing and what you're doing after everything that you've been through, do you believe that that's your testimony, that you had to go through some stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I mean, I went through a lot before the record. So in retrospect, I mean, if you look at it by his account, technically, I haven't even written songs from the place of this last experience.
Wow.
Because everything was written before it ever happened. So this record is for, it got me through it, even though I was the only person listening to it. It got me through it, but it's really the stuff that I encountered before. My mom dying, my brother dying, my grandparents dying, losing friends and people. And it got me, it was from that. I wrote them songs out of that place. And so now, to have this opportunity now, and working with Kirk is a dream come true. Working with PJ, of course, is a dream come true, even though I toured with PJ for 14 years. To actually sit and develop music with him is a whole different thing. And so now I was telling Kirk like a couple of weeks ago, I said, for whatever I write in the future, his influence and getting the chance to see him create has changed even that. You know what I'm saying? So if you hear it and you hear Fred, it's because I sat and produced music with Fred. If you sit and hear Dave Hollister, I sat and did that. So it's now I got this Kirk Franklin thing on top of all of that. That it'll be that, but in my journey, of combining what I've learned from all of those amazing people, is to me what'll be my life's work. That's the journey, and what I've been learning through him is, don't be afraid. And accept who you are in this genre and in this field. Love it, push forward with it, and write what God gives you. And it's not so much about trying to become what everybody is becoming. And I know this conversation is being had with Jason Nelson and so many other people that you see on social media, trying to differentiate where CCM fits in the Black church and where gospel music and all of this stuff. But I'm recording these albums with this man and I'm watching him walk into this world with these kids that some of them weren't even born when Kirk Franklin was like, and he's still at that. So I'm not saying he was high. I'm saying the songs that are on this tour, some of them weren't even born when they were written. So
you're doing the Maverick City tour with him?
So I'm not doing the tour. I just record the records.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was to sit there and watch that and watch him dissect these. I don't even know.
Yeah, he's a genius, man. He's a
It's
genius.
crazy. So
Yeah.
he's put himself into this world while this argument is happening around him that I don't even know if he's really, you know what I'm saying? He can't be invested right now. I'm sure he is. I'm not speaking for him.
Right.
I'm saying, this is happening while he's making changes in this world
Yeah.
that we're conversing about, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful to watch.
How do you feel about it? Because I and it's funny. I was just having a conversation today in the barbershop about that, because sometimes I think as an artist you feel pressured to have to do a certain style and abandon this style in order to fit into what is before the masses.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with a lot of people. But to me, songwriting, and you could correct me if I'm wrong because you are way better songwriter than I am. But the assignment for songwriters, to me, especially those of us that write kingdom music, is I believe that God gives us access to eavesdrop to what's already being sung in heaven and gives us the responsibility to transcribe it back here on earth.
Right.
And I think that kingdom music is kingdom music. If you have the ability to touch diverse groups, that will be your story. If you don't, if you can only write one style, I don't think we should be having this back and forth like, oh, I don't like CCM. I think it's all kingdom music. My take on it, I have the same thing with the black church, white church.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a black heaven, white heaven. There's going to be one heaven. So I think, divisive tools of our enemy has always been to divide us and keep us separate instead of us understanding unity and diversity makes us great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's all a distraction from the end goal, which is for us to come together, sing the same song. And I'm a lyrics person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm hearing a song, I don't care what avenue is used. If the lyrics don't connect with me, then I'm not interested either way. I could love how it sounds, but I need to hear lyrics. And so when you're talking about what we're singing about, I could talk about that all day. I think we lived through a time where gospel music was problems and money and suffering, and and you live in this world where you get this new music, CCM, and all of this stuff that that seemingly is talking about the same thing but different lyrics.
Yeah.
But here we are. This comes back to this thing where they're saying, well, they grew up different. It's a different struggle. I'm like, I don't, I don't want to get involved, because I'm just like, at the end of the day, if God is the ultimate draw to all of this music, then it is only our job to write it and to create it and to produce it. And he will do everything else. If I be lifted up, I'll draw. So it's not about the genre, and it's not about where we are. It's not about, I have worshiped many a night off of Brandy's album.
Come on, Full Moon.
And I tell you, there's been glory there.
I really miss you, baby. Track number 4.
There's been a darling worship there. But I mean, it's beautiful to hear the argument, and beautiful, and I think it's been civil. I haven't seen anything out of the way, but I think it should be enough for us to think about what we're writing about and how we're writing it and how we're connecting to the music that's there. I mean, to the person that transitioned praise and worship in the black church is Fred Hammond. Contrary to whoever else, he merged that world before we ever knew that it existed. He brought praise and worship from two people singing "I Know God Is Good, God" to "Blessed and Just to Be Close to You," because we did grow up thinking praise was fast songs and worship was slow songs. I still hear people say, I need one praise song and one worship song. And when I send 2 slow songs, they're like, no, I told you I need one praise song. I'm like, okay, so you
want to know.
You don't know what you're talking about. So just tell me you need a fast song and a slow song.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's really a beautiful conversation. I think it's very important. And I think it challenges us to write music that encompasses everything that we've experienced, everything that we've done. We're not trying to tear down gospel music and the
No.
experience, because when I'm in these white writing sessions and all of that stuff, they're wanting gospel.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, well, what about this gospel sound? And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's only us trying to run from it. Like, no,
Right.
no, no.
Right.
Like, no, it's necessary. All of it
Absolutely.
is necessary.
Absolutely. And I myself felt that pressure, and it's crazy that I tapped into that sound, and I never really pay attention to the charts either. I just happened to really focus on this last song that I put out,
Yeah.
and we were able to hit #1, and it was a straight CCM song. And
Amen.
I'm that church dude.
Amen.
I'm apostolic.
Yeah.
Jesus on the main line.
Yeah.
Tell him what you.
Right.
But I did that, and I was like, wow, there's really room for everyone.
Yeah.
That has a heart for God. See,
Yeah.
that's what I think it is, Joe. Having a heart for God, especially in this climate that we're in, there's hurting people out here.
Right.
And they don't need all the ego and the vision. They need people that got a pure approach that can get me to the throne of God. I don't care what color you are, as long as you got some oil.
That's
you
it.
know what I'm saying? And you can get me to where I need to be, because when this writing session, studio session is over, I'm going home to deal with some real stuff, man. And I need something that has some substance that will help me get through the rest of the week. So I'm just so appreciative that you are doing well, man, and that you still doing what you do, man. You are, I got to tell you, man, one of my biggest inspirations since I've met you. I've dived into your music, and I'm like, yo, this guy is just amazing. And, I think it's great when we can celebrate one another and applaud what God is doing, and not be sitting on the sideline jealous or envious.
Yeah.
Because people will look at JoJo and see all that you have done, like singing and touring and all that, but nobody knows what you had to pay for to get that, and what you're paying to maintain it.
Yeah.
Because you make it look easy, but it ain't easy. I already know it's
not. No, it's not easy.
You know what I'm saying?
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with my oldest brother now, and I was saying, I saw this thing on TikTok that said it cannot always be night.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself, when I saw that, it sank down in my spirit so heavy.
Come on.
It cannot. It's literally impossible for it to always be night. It has to be a day. And so if you die in this night season, this season that you were supposed to survive,
come on,
that you were supposed to rest in, and you chose to lay down and die, then imagine what else dies in that daytime when the sun comes up and all of that stuff is exposed. Look what died with you, and when you talk about dying empty and all of that stuff, I want to do everything I can while I can. I couldn't afford to sit back. I had to keep as much normal as I could. Otherwise, it would have consumed me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing that goes when you're sick and when you're not feeling well, is your quality of life.
Yeah.
Quality of life is what inspires you. It doesn't matter if it's great or if you from the ghetto or wherever else, or in between, middle. It doesn't matter. Quality of life is an inspiration of some sort.
Yeah.
But when what you knew is no more and you can't be normal in whatever your normal is, it causes depression, and it causes doubt, and it causes comparison, and it causes so many other things. And I could have sat back. There were people that were like, what are you waiting on? And you should be this and you should be that. I'm like, no, that's what you think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I never have a I should be mentality, because I believe in seasons and I believe in God's timing. And if I believe in God's timing, then I realize that He could step out of anything and to create my time again or better.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And the thing that carried me the most through my season and through many seasons still happening is my best friend and big brother Brian Nelson preached a message: God's going to make it up to you.
Woo.
And
Doc, he ain't right.
He ain't right, Doc.
Nelson, you hear what I'm telling you? You are not. He comes up here and it's not right with him and that organist. Jesus Christ.
Right. Crazy.
It's not right.
And that thing carried me and still does. Not because he has to, but because I went through something and I kept my word with him, he's keeping his word with me. I turned down a lot of stuff during that season, and not because I wanted to. Some people felt like, you need to sit this one out, and I
Right.
appreciate that because I would have tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to try to, because you do have a fear of not being relevant anymore and not
Yeah.
being included and missing out. Those fears are there, but that's the enemy. That's another distraction.
But you just said a word that I have been sharing this with people all over the country, Joe. That I think that when we that are part of the kingdom get this principle and this philosophy in our head, that won't be a struggle anymore. Because Jesus said we're the salt of the earth.
Yeah.
So anything that salt touches, salt overpowers.
Yeah.
So if I'm salt and I get poured on a bowl of sweet ice cream, that ice cream will not change the taste of the salt, but the salt will automatically change the taste of the ice cream. So I don't have to do what I do to remain relevant, because when I show up, I take over. And it's not purposely, it's just because of who God made me. And when we understand that we're salt, salt always remains relevant because it's a preserver.
Yeah.
It creates a thirst, because anybody that meets us, anything that's salty, you want to drink something after it.
Yeah.
So when people meet us, it should create a thirst to know who Jesus is.
That's right.
And they should get to salvation. Salt, when you put it on meat and put it in the freezer, it preserves it, it saves it. That's the kind of stuff that we have to keep at the forefront, not the money, not the fame. Because Jesus said, whatever's right, I'll pay. If we do it from the right place, all that's going to come anyway. Because we know a whole lot of folk that's doing gospel, that's doing quite well.
Yes, right.
You know what I'm saying? So we know that there's money in it. We know that there's, prestige in it, but it's all about having your motives pure. And that's been my prayer in this season. God, as you create more exposure for my gift and my ministry, God, help me to never lose conviction and help my motives to stay pure, because I've seen people get twisted because they started thinking more highly of themselves than they should and getting real Hollywood. And I'm like, nah, that ain't it, man. That ain't it.
It's a dangerous game.
Yeah. You got to stay low, man.
Listen, you got to listen to CeCe Winans' song. She said, "The high is for the lowly."
Listen, and if he said it, it's Bible.
It's Bible.
You hear me? Because if CeCe don't make it to heaven, we all wasting our time. Because if she don't go, ain't none of us going.
If she ain't there, then I know I have failed God.
I have failed God drastically, and I have to ask for a pardon, because CeCe,
as they say, she paper Bible say.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you, man. But Joe, man, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out your crazy schedule just to come talk to your brother. I want you to know again, man, that I am so happy for you, and I support you 1,000%. And whatever we can do to help promote and push you, brother, you always have an open opportunity here at Kingdom Conversation just to drop by and let us know what you're doing, man. And we trying to follow in your footsteps, man, because you are one of those guys that I honestly look at in this industry and say, that's what I would like to do. I would like to make an impact like that and just touch people with the gift, man, because that's what it's about for me, man. Just trying to hone in on my skills and my assignment, whatever that is, and just touch people, man, because that's what you do, man. Every time you talk, you sing, you testify, somebody's heart is changed and turned towards God. So that's the goal, bro. So thank you, man.
Thank you for having me. It's always an honor to see you, an honor to connect with you. I got to come to New York back to have a grand old time.
Come on.
Get light and a little praise, Doc.
Come on, Doc. You still kind of out dance me though, Joe. You still can't. Well, you tried last time,
but when I get this weight off, Doc.
Yeah. You tried last time, but I had to show you what I was made of.
Yeah, I had to do my little best. I saw a little thing coming up. I said,
hold up, man. You're not gonna come over here and do this. But Joe,
got his second win.
The last thing we do, well, two things I want to do before we let you go is we play a quick game. It's called Word Association. Right. And how that works is I say something and you just build on it. The first thing that comes to your mind, there's no wrong answer. I say something and you just build on it. Are you ready?
Am I singing or I'm just talking?
You can do whatever.
Oh,
Please sing it.
Lord.
Yo, JoJo, you just created something on our show. Nobody has ever done that. So let's do it this way. I'll say a word and you sing a song that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right. Loyalty.
You got me all the way back in the old.
I almost know where you're going.
I don't know. Maybe I don't have it.
He never failed me yet. Do a little bit of that.
Nah, which he never failed me yet.
He never failed me yet. He never failed me yet. Jesus Christ never failed me yet.
You got to teach me that, man of God.
You don't know that, man? Oh,
no, I need that.
Listen, let me get everywhere I go. I want the world to know Jesus Christ never failed me yet.
Please send me that. I'm gonna sing that at church on Sunday.
What, JoJo? You don't know that song?
Promise to God, Dad.
Wow.
You gotta remember, I'm from California.
We got to call the ruling
elders. The
elders.
west you go, the less church there is. Dad.
We gonna have to call the ruling elders on this one.
Y'all gonna have to reel me in. I done got out of control.
My God, Lord, I gotta get JoJo back. They trying to get him. They trying to get him.
Lord. Reel me in, Lord.
Okay, this should be a good one for you. Healing.
Okay. There's healing for your song, healing for your pain, healing for your spirit. There's shelter from the rain. Am I right?
Yeah.
Lord, send healing for this we know there is a balm in Gilead to heal your soul.
Yo, Joe, you are amazing, bro. You are. Man, listen, I love you, dude, and
I love you too, bro.
I'm gonna let you go because I'll have you singing for another hour if I could. But yo,
I gotta make up for that other song. I feel bad.
No, man, that's an old song that I used to hear. You know, I come out of the Church of God in Christ independent. You know, there was Church of God in Christ. Then there was a big split.
That's right.
After Azusa Street. Come on, give you a little church history.
Come on, that's you in the book.
And I come up on the other side.
That's right.
Not where you can't join in. You gotta be born. Yeah. But they used to sing. My mom and them used to sing songs like that all the time. Yeah. And you know, now pastoring 10 years here in New York, I find myself so blessed to have grown up in that era of the church because there's some foundational, fundamental truths that they taught us, man, that is so necessary for our survival today. So, you know, songs like that, man. I love all the new stuff, but every now and then you got to go back and get one of the old joints. Yeah, man. Go back and get it, man. Yeah. But if anybody wants to book JoJo, how do they get in contact with you?
Right now, I have a website, jojomartinmusic.com. You can also send an email to jojomartin@jojosvoice.com. You can hit me on every social media site under JoJo's Voice, except for TikTok. It's under something else. Somebody had already stole that thing.
Oh, Lord. Break their fingers, God. Break their fingers. They try to tweet. Break them.
Do it in your name, God. But everything else is under JoJo's Voice. I would love to connect with you. I would love to come to your events. I would love to work on your music. I would love to do a whole bunch of other stuff. There's levels. So let's create. Let's connect.
Listen, we're going to allow JoJo to have the last and final word. This is what we do on our show. I'm going to leave the stage, and I'm sure that there are some aspiring musicians, songwriters, artists that are coming up. Just share your heart, man, and encourage them, Joe. The floor is yours.
Sure. I would just say, remember who you are. Remember why you want this. Remember why you love it so much. Remember the time when the money and the recognition didn't matter, and that your heart was so pure that you wrote out of pure places. There's nothing in this world that we cannot overcome together, but comparison and all the tension and all the confusion that abides in our industry is killing it day by day. It's not genres, it's not different areas, it's not CCM, it's not gospel, it's not them versus us, it's us. And if we can survive the need to be more than what Bishop Jakes would call suchy much, the need to be more than what we are, and to work together and understand that we are better together. It's so much out here, so much to conquer, so many things to achieve. And there is a world that still does not know Jesus. That is our job. Let's come together and make his name, continue to make his great name great. I salute and applaud everyone that has come before me, that's coming with me, and that will come after me. And I want you to know that I'm here to encourage you, here to work beside you, work with you. And stay encouraged. Don't lose sight of the plan. Don't lose sight of who you are. Don't lose sight of who God called you to be. And should there come a time when you lose yourself in the moment, and that you feel like you can't come back, and that your desire and your yearning for what you love has gone, connect with us, connect with people, connect with those that love you. Find somebody who still has the fight and still has the passion, and let's connect our faith together, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm here for you. Gang, gang. Let's go.
Yo, everybody, that's JoJo Martin. His testimony is powerful, life-changing, man. Thank you again, bro, for coming by Kingdom Conversations. And again, anytime, this show is yours. You can just take over. Interview
I
me.
love you, my boy. I love you, man.
Yeah, we'll talk, man. Love you, Joe.
I love
and
you
yo,
too,
I'm gonna send you my my new music because I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, I would love to hear.
All right, cool.
We gotta write some music together.
Yeah, we have to. No convention talk.
No joy talk.
And I want to rebuke you before you get off. That sweater is very fleshy. I didn't see it till you got on camera by yourself. I said, "Oh, we're coming with labels." Oh,
these small threads. I'm wearing this all day.
I could have put I got a little piece or two, you know.
I was laying in the bed and I said, "Should I change?"
Yeah. You just do something to cover up that old flesh.
That's it. Just
cover up this old flesh. Yo, Joe, man, I love you, man. We'll talk soon. Bro.
All right, later.
Listen, everybody, that was my brother JoJo Martin, one of the greatest. Every time we talk, man, we just laugh and have a good time. He's anointed, and I believe that this is his time in the season. So I admonish you, if you don't have his music, get it. I'm telling you, he's going to bless you. He is one of the most anointed voices of our generation. Get it, support. Anytime you see JoJo Martin, click on it, follow him, link up with him. He's doing amazing things in the kingdom. Listen, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Kingdom Conversation. Remember, go grab my new single. Another Chance is out right now. It's blessing people all over the world. We're excited and we're humbled by what God is doing. I'm about to send it to JoJo. And if JoJo tell me it's no good, I'm pulling it off the internet. I'm pulling it off I'm not sending it nowhere else. I got to get the cosign from the big bro. All right, y'all. Remember, no one can stop you from being who you've been called and created to be, but you. Don't miss this show next week. We have some more exciting guests. This is season 2, y'all. Season 2, Kingdom Conversation. We doing it. Glory be to God. I love y'all. We'll talk soon.